Hey seniors, I just want to explain how you can make a backup of all of your Google Drive stuff. First off, we do turn off your accounts at some point. It costs us money to have active users. It costs us less money to have inactive users, but due to federal law, we're required to store the data for a certain amount of time. And then after that point, I think it's 4 or 5 years, we then delete it. But what it does mean is because the accounts are archived, if you figure out that you didn't do this or forgot of something, didn't share everything with yourself, then you can email Mr. Pettigene or myself, and then we can turn your account back on, give you access temporarily, and then once you're done, we can deactivate it again. So what you'll want to do is go to Google Drive. Make sure you're in Drive and not in Docs, otherwise you have to go through Docs and Slides and Sheets and do them each individually. And then you just need to highlight everything. You can click and drag to do that, or you can click on one, hold Shift, and use the arrow keys to highlight everything. But then you're just going to share it with your other account. Now, that's not enough to back it up. This is just the first step. Make sure you make them editor, gives them as much permissions as possible, and send. It's going to give you an error message that they're outside of our organization, but that's the whole point of this, so it's okay. Go ahead and tell it share anyway. Then, once it's done, you can go over here to your private account, and you would do this probably on a different computer, not your school Chromebook, obviously, and you go into Shared with Me, and they're all there. However, if we go back to the original here and we delete one of those files, say stars, then what ends up happening is if we come over here, stars will also be removed from here. When I hit refresh, it's going to go away there. So that's not enough, because when we deactivate the account, these are all going to disappear. So what you're going to do is highlight everything, and then you're going to right click and make a copy, and then it'll make a copy of yours. Now what it means is you're no longer collaborating, so if you make a change on the school file, that change isn't going to show up on this one because you have a copy rather than the original. But that's how you do it. The downside is you'll notice if you go to do this with folders, that's not an option. What you have to do is you have to go into each folder individually and do the same thing, make a copy. And so then it will copy the files to your drive, and they'll show up in your drive itself. And then you have to reorganize them in your drive again. That is inconvenient, and because of that, there is a better way. And of course, the copying does take time here, so the more you have, the longer it takes. The better way is to use a service that Google has called Google Takeout. And so just search for Google Takeout, and you'll find it, and then you'll log into Google Takeout with your school account. And so then what you can do is you can download everything. So it'll download all the detail about your calendars, all your browsing history that you have, everything from your contacts and everything that you have logged into your school account for, your emails here, etc., etc. If there's anything you don't want to take out, then certainly you can uncheck it. It will go quicker if you do it that way. And of course, the more files you have, the longer this is going to take, but I recommend just checking out everything. Tell it next. Then what's going to happen is you're just going to do this once. You don't need to set it up to do it again in the future as a backup, and it's going to download everything as a zip, and you want to leave it as a zip there. You can change the file size, but keep in mind if you do that, it's going to take longer to download, and what happens is if you have too many files, it will give you multiple zip files to download. And then you're going to create the export. Now this takes time, so what you can do is you can come back to Takeout later on, or you can go to your email and they will email you that you have a Takeout process happening, and they will email you to let you know that it is done and the files are ready to be downloaded. So I'm going to there's the requested one, and I'm going to pause this until the download is ready, and I'll show you what to do from there. I don't think I mentioned it before I paused here, but when you go to do the full Takeout thing, it does tell you that this can take days to, or hours to even days. It took me several hours for it to pack up even just those few files that I have. And then it sends you a confirmation email telling you that you've requested it, but it doesn't send you a that's not your download yet. Your download is here. Now you'll notice I have multiple downloads. So then all I'm going to do is I'm going to download each of them. It's going to make me sign in again here. And then I can download all of them, make sure they're all downloaded. Once they're all downloaded to my other computer, again, you're not doing this on your school Chromebook, you're doing this somewhere else, but download all of them. Once you have them all downloaded, then what you're going to do is you have those files now, and you can stop. If you instead want to transfer some of them up to the cloud, then go for it. You'll simply open them, and let me show you what opening a zip file looks like with the different ones, since this is going to take a while to download here. So here is a different zip. Here's a different zip file. When you open it up, you have to extract the files. Zip files are one file that takes a whole bunch of other little files and squishes them together. But to actually access those files, you have to extract them. So you're just going to extract them all, and then when you're done, they will be there in their own folder. You can see here. In fact, at that point, you can get rid of the original zip file if you want. All you do is click here back on the original folder, and then you can delete this file here. Then from there, now that you have all those files, you can do whatever. All the stuff that it will save for you, you don't care about. And some of the stuff it saves for you, you do want. And you can either choose to keep it on your computer, or you can choose to upload it to your personal Google Drive account. But this checkout takes everything. So it has all your browsing history and all your contacts and everything that you have. If you only care about the stuff in your drive, then you can do the first method. Or alternatively, you can also just come here and highlight them all the ones you're interested in, right click on them and tell it to download, but it's going to be a large file and it will take some time. Anyway, don't hesitate to let me know if you have any questions.